Good afternoon to all of you. Today we are going to discuss the lectures for MBA second semester, and the topic is project management. Subject is project management, and under the project management today we are discussing the project life cycle. It was the cycle of the project. So for this, as we know that in our daily human life there is one cycle, and the cycle starts from childhood, that is birth, maturity and death. This is the human cycle. The same way we execute this cycle in all walks of life, everywhere, in corporate sectors and in our daily life, in each and every walks of life. We can say that there is a cycle. So when we apply the definition of a project in our example of priority, or in our example of priority of a project, we find that they all fit, they all display a degree of uniqueness, because you know that one project is unique in nature. Suppose in earlier days, which we have already discussed in the previous lecture, that Great Wall of China pyramid, that was also a project, a rare project, and rare in history, once in a history. Every day we are not getting that type of project like pyramid, like Great Wall of China, and so on and so forth. But today's life, every day, suppose one is pursuing MBA, it's also a project. And this project has a short span of time, limited time of span. Like for the students have 6 months of lifespan for semester 1. After first semester 6 months, this project finish. After that, the second project will start, that is semesters 2, semester 3, semester 4, and after that this program, management program, which the students took, will complete, and thereafter the next program will start. So I told that we find that they all fit, they all display a degree of uniqueness, consists of activities. In each and every product, in each and every project, there is some activities. At this moment, there is activity. And with the activities, I'm delivering lectures for the students. This is also one of the projects. After 30 minutes, this project will finish. They are connected to each other and have definite outcome. Yes. There is outcome of this lecture. There is outcome of this project. If the students understand the lectures the person delivering, and because of that project you are listening this lecture, because your project is to understand this lecture, and after 30 minutes this lecture will finish, and whether you understand or not understand, the outcome is, if good, project is good; if not, project is not good, bad. So definite outcomes and limited time span, as I've already told you. There is a limited time span. Nowadays the project has a limited time span. This means that we can now begin to view the project as a tool. We consider the project as a tool, one that we can use to achieve outcomes and create deliverables. We can, for example, use the project at work to introduce a new management information system. So that changed the way, this new management information system has changed the way we record the details of our customers, restructure our organizations, target new customers and new market niche, or influence the way in which our people think about quality. So these all with the help of the change in technology, that is management information system. In our home also, we can use the project. What? To restyle our bedrooms. This is also one of the project. We want to restyle the bedrooms. Suppose earlier the table is like that. Now I want to change the direction from this side to this side. This is also one of the projects that create our Sundays and plan where we go for our holidays. But let's not run away with the idea that the project is the only tool that's available to us. Project has a boundary. One of the most obvious things about the project is its outcome. Indeed, this is so obvious that many of us fall into the trap of thinking that it is the only features of a project. We identify projects by their outcomes, as in NASA Mars landing project or Hong Kong's new Czech Lapcock International Airport project, and forget that all projects have other key and interrelated features. When we ask questions, these features begin to emerge. How long did it take? How much did it cost? The answer was the final outcome. As we specified it as the beginning and finally, and most importantly, does that outcome do what we wanted it to do? That's what I already told you. Outcome is the main idea. If the outcome is due, that is what we want to do it. All are questions about the other key features of the project. And all of these are equally important. Their dimensions define the boundaries of our projects. They all exert a considerable influence upon ways in which we manage them. For example, the questions, how long did it take? Raising the issues of how long did it take, that raises the issue of time span of the overall project, or the individual activities that it may make it up. How much did it cost? That how much cost incurred? How much time it takes to complete the project? How much cost incurred to complete this project? Draws our attention to the cost of the project. Was the outcome as specified at the beginning? And did the outcomes do what we wanted it to? Are both about the project's performance as seen in the outcomes, but none of these features stand alone. They all are woven together in a complex web of interrelatedness. As such, it is possible to have a trade-offs between them. As for example, when getting it done more quickly costs more. Obviously, if I want to complete the work in a quick way, we have to hire more labor. It means the cost will increase. And take longer time Additionally, the quality revolution with its emphasis on customer satisfaction means that we now have to be aware of the need of to extend our definition of the project's performance to include the quality or fitness for purpose of its outcome. Now, we want to discuss now the life cycle. The project life cycle, and we can say the work breakdown structure, that is WBS, has come to the forefront in recent years as the key framework or structures for subdividing the project scope of work into manageable phases or work packages, where the work breakdown structure is a hierarchist subdivision of the scope of work. The project life cycle subdivides the scope of work into 6 sequential project phases. That is, we can say that projects are unique and involves a certain degree of risk. Companies performing projects will generally subdivide their projects into several project phases to provide better management control. Collectively, these project phases are called the project life cycle, because we are segregating the work into different divisions, different stages, and that is the reason why this is called project life cycle. When anyone first heard the term project life cycle, it strikes on as an old expression, odd expression. It has previously only heard of a life cycle being applied to a tadpole and butterflies. But on closer inspections, all projects do pass through a number of that phases. That project starts with childhood, project starts with maturity and ends with close down phase. Childhood means when the child takes birth. It means what? The life cycle of a project starts when the concept, the ideas emerges in your mind. The moment the idea emerges in your mind, it means the cycle starts. And that cycle starts from, and that is called conceptual stages of the life cycle. So, in conceptual phase, that is the ideas emerging in your mind, and that ideas, when you consult with the persons who is already in this type of job, like suppose I want to start the project that is fisheries. There are so many people involved in this business, fisheries. So this ideas emerges in our mind. So now the problem is how we start. So this idea, when we share with other persons who already is involved in this project, and the idea that we take the idea from other persons who already involved in the job, in this business, what is the pros and cons of the project, how we start the project, from where we will take the raw materials, from where we will take how we process it, is there any risk or not? If risk, then which type of risk? If this type of ideas when we'll share with other entrepreneurs, other peoples who already is in job, that idea will take a concrete shape. And this concrete shape will not get until unless we'll take the opinions of your friends or with your fellow colleagues or whatever, whosoever is involved in that job, in that type of job. So we'll get this idea, and this idea, as I already told you, will take concrete shape as and when we discuss with your different types of people and different. So in this, what does it mean? In this growth, in this conceptual phase, we'll gather the data, and this data will gather in conceptual phase, we'll gather the data from different peoples, identify the needs. Thereafter, after gathering the data and identifying the needs, thereafter we will establish. What we'll establish? We'll establish our objective, goal. That what you want to do. What is your goal? Where you want to go? And this establish, you are in a position to establish the goals or objective only and only if you will gather the data, and thereafter you will identify your needs. After that, what? You will have the information about the basic economic of this project, feasibility of the project, whether the project which you want to start, whether it is feasible or not. Who are the stakeholders? So when you will start the project, you have to have the idea that who will be the stakeholders in your project. What will be the risk level? So risk level also, I already told you that you have to have the idea that is there any risk or not? If the risk is high or the risk is low. What will be the strategy? So after gathering the data, after identifying the needs, you have to establish the basic objectives, goals. You have to have the idea about the establish the basic economic or feasibility. You have to have the idea about the stakeholders. You have to have the idea about the risk level. You have to have the idea about the strategy. You have to have the idea of the team, potential team, which you want to keep in your project. You have to have the idea about the identifying alternatives, present proposals, obtaining approval for next phases. Thereafter, the second phase is called project definition phase. In this definition phase, the initial concept or idea is given a concrete shape by describing the project with some details embracing all aspects relevant to the project which are necessary for the financial institutions and the customers to take decisions on the project. This gives the detail to be covered and documented that will include the raw materials, quality and quantitative evaluation of each of the raw materials, plant capacity, that is description of the plant capacity, plant requirement and their capacity for each of the department, as well as the entire plant, locations and sites, technology, that is description of the selected technology and the reasons as to why this particular technology is selected. Project outlay, that is the optimum layout supported by drawing and giving reasons for the same. Plant and machinery, descriptions and equipment and machinery selected, electrical and instrumentations, civil engineering, utilities, manpower,